We're back. If you've got a dog, we're putting it down, baby. Whether you're cat turd or Trump VP contender Kristi Noem, who is responding to is currently engaged in an imbroglio about her killing her dog, as a matter of fact.
Well, that makes it not as bad.
Yeah, it's her dog. It's only one dog.
Yeah, it's her dog.
It might have died of old age by now anyway, or it might have got hit by a car.
This is Kristi Noem, a contender for Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate, defended herself after a story saying she had killed a dog on her farm drew condemnation from Democrats and animal rights groups. In her forthcoming memoir, the South Dakota governor describes killing an untrainable family dog after a hunting trip, reported The Guardian, which said it had obtained a copy of the book No Going Back, The Truth on What's Wrong with Politics and How We Move America Forward. Noem said Cricket, a 14-month-old wire-haired pointer, was a female with an aggressive personality, according to The Guardian. Well, if we're putting down females with aggressive personalities, Donald Trump's going to have a hard time winning re-election. It's
gonna be a female politician. That's aggressive in my opinion.
But it says here, during a pheasant hunting trip, the dog went out of her mind with excitement and later attacked another family's chickens. And when she went to grab Cricket, Noem said, the dog bit her. I hated that dog, Noem wrote in the excerpt. The dog was dangerous to anyone she came in contact with and less than worthless as a hunting dog. I realized I had to put her down, she wrote.
Is she dangerous or not? She's not killing enough, so we had to put her down?
She was worthless as a hunting dog, and she was.
Why do you
annoying.
need a hunting dog for pheasants? Pheasants can barely fly.
The dogs retrieve the pheasant after you shoot it.
Maybe you're the prey.
You can't.
Maybe if you buy a hunting dog and it only bites you, maybe you're the prey. Maybe you're human livestock. Maybe you have the constitution of a pheasant. Don't assume that the dog is wrong.
Because, according to The Guardian, Noem said she included the grisly story to demonstrate her readiness in politics to do what needs to be done, even if it's difficult, messy, and ugly. I mean, yeah, it starts with recalcitrant hunting dogs, and then it's like, people who collect Social Security and workman's comp who don't do anything, they're fucking useless. Put them down. We got to make hard choices in politics.
I guess it's sort of relevant to the Biden White House.
Yeah.
Because for the first time, probably the first time ever, we have rabid dogs biting people in the Oval Office. And no one wants to do anything about it.
Well, I mean, I think this does make a good contrast because, Biden, he's not doing anything to stop his dogs. He's sending them to go live elsewhere, but that's just passing the buck. And as Harry Truman said, the dog killing buck stops here. You got a dog having problems? It's my dog. I'm fucking killing it.
Yeah, I want someone who just doesn't get a dog if they don't like dogs that much. Like Trump. Say what you will about Trump, but he didn't get a dog.
He hates animals, yeah.
If he got a dog, he probably would kill it or have someone else kill it. He would have Ivanka kill it.
It says here, on Friday, Noem defended her decision to put the dog down. We love animals, but tough decisions like this happen all the time on a farm, she wrote in a post on X.
Sadly, what kind of food are you making over there?
This is the Barack Obama's farm.
Yeah.
Farms are very well connected to vets, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like you have to get your animals checked. Like you're not out in the wilderness. You're not in the frontier. You don't have to do medicine all by yourself the whole time.
I'm never going to a farmer's market again.
She says, sadly, we just had to put down 3 horses a few weeks ago that had been in our family for 25 years.
You don't need horses.
Yeah, what the fuck are the horses doing?
No one even eats horses. They're slower than cars.
Did she think that was milk she was getting out of the horses?
Like, those are useless. They're just wasting grass.
Kristi Noem has been selling people jugs of horse cum for 20 years.
Well, the mares might have milk. Some of it might be milk. But if it's all going in the same bucket, it's kind of all cum. So.
But, and look, obviously, like, people enjoying this story, it's become sort of like another, I don't know, culture war battlefield. I don't know. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, this is just what rural culture is. Like, if you're a city person, you probably feel bad about having to kill or needing to kill your dog. You'd probably try to get it to rehomed or something like that. But people defending this is saying is like, true rural traditional Americans will kill an animal if it annoys them.
Yeah, I like the idea of making a culture war issue out of like all the stuff that John Wayne Gacy did as a child.
Yeah, it seems
Look,
like a very
and-
unpopular thing.
Yeah,
Why would you put that in her book? Why would you ever?
Alex,
Like,
because
it's not like
I
someone
think,
caught her doing that.
well, because no, she put it in the book. She says it in the article. She put it in the book because she wanted to use it as an example of like the kind of tough, gritty character that like she's like, I can make the hard choice. I'll put the dog down if it is, if it acts too excited and doesn't bring me a single pheasant. I'll fucking put it down. And she shot the dog herself, and then later on in other reports, she says she shot the dog and then realized she had to shoot a goat that they had as well that was old and annoying as well. So she killed 2 animals in one day.
What
Well,
is
if you're
this?
really tough,
that reminds me. I had a goat I need to kill as well.
if you're really tough, you can take the life of an animal and you turn around and you blink and you forgot about it. It means that little to you. If you're still talking about that dog, you're a fucking pussy. Clearly, it's haunting you because you can't actually take life and death into your own hands.
Well, as long as we're talking about sadism or violence against animals, there's another part of Kristi Noem's book that I think is getting less attention than the dog killing anecdote. That is really quite something. This is from Kristi Noem's memoir. She says, speaking of her father, she says there were times that Dad's pranks bordered on cruelty. One of his oil company workers, a one-legged man he nicknamed Crip Smith, complained about everything.
Oh, he started that gang?
Crip
He was
Smith
the first guy to say "cuh."
He complained about everything. Dad and Crip's coworkers got tired of the old man's belly aching and decided to take revenge. One morning, Crip called in sick, and Dad volunteered to send by lunch to his grateful but suspicious employee. Dad and his chums caught Crip's old black tomcat, killed it, skinned it, and cooked it in the kitchen of one of Dad's little restaurants. They called it squirrel meat and delivered it to Crip on the linen-covered tray. When Crip returned to work the next morning, Dad and his co-conspirators asked him how he liked his meal. They knew he would complain about a free home-cooked lunch, and when Crip called it the toughest squirrel meat he had ever eaten, they were glad to tell him why.
What the fuck?
That's a prank on the people doing it.
Yeah.
Like, if that guy's willing to eat squirrel meat, he doesn't give a fuck. He would eat cat. And
Well,
he
this
didn't
was
notice
his
the
cat.
cat was gone. He didn't notice the cat. It was. I think it was just a stray cat. I think they spent like 5 hours cooking and preparing a stray cat and then fed it to this guy. And he was like, "Well, this tastes like my normal meals." And then that was the prank. And then meanwhile, that guy probably got paid time off, so he was getting paid to eat that. You had to learn how to butcher a cat in the kitchen.
Before
God.
phones. He had to go
Yeah.
to the county
You can even look it up
library.
on YouTube like we can now.
Yeah, he had to go to the county library and he had to go, "Do you have any books about like butchering and cooking cats?" Everyone knows about it.
You had to talk to the shadow butcher. The regular butcher, he doesn't want to tell you about the forbidden animals. He's going to report you, or he's going to tell your mom. If you say, "How do I butcher a cat? How do I butcher a squirrel?" He's gonna put you on a list. You have to go to the shadow butcher. It's off the smuggler's dock.
But once again, I mean, a lot of people will use this story as an example of the sort of like casual cruelty and that Kristi Noem seems to exhibit. Her father killing the pet of his his crippled coworker who they hated because he complained too often. I mean, shit. If I had
They
one
should have
leg,
cut off his other leg.
yeah, if I had one leg and was working on an oil rig, I'd probably be pretty colicky as well. I'd probably be complaining all the time as well. But here's the thing. This is just rural traditional culture that city dwellers don't understand. Like you said, Alex, Ed Gein, he was a crafty guy, like he could make something out of anything.
He was the shadow butcher.
I like how after this, like a bunch of Democratic governors and reps have been they started a whole thing where they're like, post a picture of your dog that doesn't involve shooting them in the head and throwing them in a gravel pit. And
What a low bar.
It would be funny if those were scheduled tweets from like last week.
just some engagement farming. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody, Jerry Nadler here. If you got any photos of dogs that have not been, exploded by dynamite or hit with a truck, just let me see them.
Every senator should have to do proof of life of their dog every day. It should be their dog with today's newspaper pissing on it.
We got to stop letting politicians have pets. I think that's the lesson I'm taking away from here, because they're just, they're not up to it.
Calvin Coolidge was the last one who was like kind of nice to his pets. Someone gave him a raccoon to like cook.
Oh, right. He had a raccoon.
Right. He originally had that raccoon because some dumbass was like, here, you can cook this raccoon, even though you're the fucking president.
Oh, someone tried to prank him.
Yeah. Like, Christy Noem's grandfather was like, here. And he was like, I like this guy. And he kept it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to eat it.
Yeah, I mean, like...
It's the same issue with learning how to butcher a raccoon before YouTube videos.